The Rock Whisperer. Do you hear the earth talking to you?
The Weather Unit, Station Models 5-4. So everything you need to know about station models is right here on your reference table. So now we just need to learn how to go about reading it. This is what a station model will look like. And here it tells you all of the information that is on that particular station model. So we'll start in the upper left and go around and wind up on the upper right hand side. First, we have the present weather, what is currently happening. We have the temperature. It's given in Fahrenheit, but notice the clue on the bottom. No units will be put on our station model. Visibility in miles. The dew point temperature in Fahrenheit. We then show the wind speed and the wind direction. So the staff will show you the direction of the wind, where the wind is coming from. And it tells you right there in the reference table, from the southwest. And then the feathers will tell us how fast the wind is going. A whole feather is 10 knots, and a half a feather is 5 knots. So you'll have to add them together to tell what the total number of knots are. As we come around onto the right-hand side, we see what the precipitation is in the last 6 hours. We can see what the barometric pressure trend has been, whether it's rising, falling, and the little bar means that it's holding steady, and that's all over the last 3 hours. And we have the barometric pressure, which is given as a 3-digit number on your station model. It's really either a 4 or a 5-digit number with a decimal point, and we'll talk about how to change that in just a second. And then last but not least is the amount of cloud cover. So we can look at the percentage of the inner of the circle and see how much of that is covered, and that will tell us the cloud cover. The barometric pressure is probably one of the most difficult things for station models, and doing that converting. So let's go to the next slide to look at that. So in order to convert pressures, we need to look at the actual pressure number. So I have 2 pressures here to start with. The rule of thumb is you remove the 9 or 10 in the front of the number and also get rid of the decimal point. So for example, we would get rid of our 10 and we would get rid of our decimal point and we would rewrite that number. So on the actual station model, we would write down 2, 2, 3 for our particular number on that station model. And that number would go right in substitute of this particular place. We look at the next one. We look at the first number. If it's a 9 or a 10, we get rid of that. And we also remove the decimal place. So in this particular case, we would write down 8, 6, 4 on our station model. Now the opposite is true. If we're looking at a station model and we're looking here and we're looking at this number, we need to be able to write it out as our full number also. So there's a rule for that also. First, if the first number is 5 or less, you add a 10 in front of it. So this is 0, 1, 2. So we add a 10 in front of it, and then we put a decimal place. So you come in one place and put a decimal. So if we were to write that out, we would write down 1, 0, 0, 1.2. So this actual pressure that just looks like it's 0, 1, 2 is 1001.2. If the number is 6 or more, we add a 9 in front and we add a decimal point. So what looks like 785 is really 978.5. And all these are in millibars, and you can see the millibars are on this side, and it's very easy to convert from millibars to inches of mercury on this side. You just need to be very precise because it's a very fine scale that goes along with this. So why do meteorologists like to write this small digit number? Why are there no units that go along with any of these? Well, here's why. this is a weather map from the Northeast. And here, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can we'll do full screen here. And you can see here's a weather map. Now we can see right about here is Albany, and we can see what's going on. So we can see the temperature, dew point temperature, and other things that are on here, the wind direction and wind speed. But these are all the places that have gathered weather information and have reported it to this central location, and they are all plotting on here. So meteorologists are looking at a map like this. So here's our pressure. We want smaller numbers so we can be more concise, because even this map looks kind of busy and there's a lot of information going on at once. So a little bit about station models for you, and we'll do some activities in class with that.
Don't forget to listen to the Earth. You just may hear